Good morning. Came down here this morning to the food plot to do a few things, put out some wire guards around the plants and check things out, as well as I put some rice in the ground, or in the water I should say. It's looking really good back there. You can see nice and thick. I'll get a tighter shot in there. Water's definitely up. Most of this is now flooded with a couple inches of water, and it's only going to get deeper. But I think now this year all these plants are going to be able to grow in it. They're tall enough that they won't go under. I've said a couple times these plants can grow in water, but they can't grow underwater. Let's take a look. All right, I got my back to where the blind is. We can see out in front lots of crops. That's a mix of millet, wild millet, milo, and there's some smartweed in there along with whatever native grass is. We got this section in the middle which isn't planted, but that's coming in thick, and that way if I need to clear an area or do any manipulation for a decoy zone, I've got a legal way to do that. Got a little strip of millet there and more open water, and that's where I'm going to put the rice in. And you can see that millet stretches all the way around. I planted about twice as much of that, if not more. But when we had that big tropical storm come through, it filled up the pond and most of that seed had just emerged and unfortunately did not make it. But we got something. And it's just looking absolutely great. And by the fall, everything that you see will be underwater, all the way up to the palmettos there in the back. All that cypress will have standing water in it. This area during duck season should have about a foot or less water based on last year. So that's gonna be perfect for dabbling ducks. There is the start of a blind. I cut that melaleuca tree down, and I'm gonna cut some more down, just stack them up, and we'll have a nice El Natural blind that we can go in on the other side and, you know, manicure and cut our shooting holes. It'll of course all be brown, but it'll be blended in just fine. The other spot we've hunted is way tucked up under here, and I might cut some spots way up in there, clear some of this eventually, so that we can hunt this area a little bit better as well. All right, let's go plant some rice. All right, I got a mixture of rice, wild rice, and water plantain. I've had these soaking in a bucket for a day, and then soaking in this sack, drained but moist. And supposedly that gets the seed ready for germination, at which point I can now hand broadcast it into the shallow water. Wild rice came from Hancock Seed here in Florida. Water plantain from River Refuge out in Oregon. Those are my two go-to places. I haven't had any luck getting this water plantain to germinate. I've tried it just, you know, at home in a container just to see what it would do. Nothing. I've planted some. Nothing. Again, I think it got wet too soon. So, kind of a last-ditch effort. We'll throw it out. We'll see what it does. If any of you had any success seeding water plantain, I'd love to hear. I'm hoping this pre-soaking might do the trick. Let's go find out. So I needed a sack soak the seed in. Burlap sack, pillowcase. But fellas, let me tell you, when your wife gives you her Louis V purse bag to soak your damn seeds in, you know you got yourself a keeper. Shout out to you, Girl Robin. Okay, tossed out a few pounds of that. Let's see where the bubbles are. It kind of worked right up that edge. Didn't want to go too far. It gets, boot deep there. So just trying to keep it where 6-8 inches deep. Work my way back there. I got more of this seed, so come August we'll see if there's any spots we need to fill in, and that's the idea, since that stuff will grow underwater. Well, the project this morning was setting up some of these wire guards. I put 3 of them up, and that way I have a little section that can't get browsed or eaten. That'll be my gauge on how the stuff is growing undisturbed. That way if anything gets in here and starts eating on this stuff, I'll kind of know where I actually stand. So I got one there, I got one there you can't quite see, and one in the other field. Just had 2 black bellies buzz me. They were over on the other side of the pond. They kind of like to hang out over there. They're here about every day, so that's good. Got whistlers and mottled ducks already using the pond, so couldn't be happier this earlier in the season. Here's one last look. That's all millet. And we got our more millet and milo, smartweed, all that. And the blind's back up in there. Well, the last little project area down here is this field that you can see out here. On May 30th, less than a month ago, this was, waist high, crappy grass, and you may recall we did a big burn down here. This is one of the areas that I have a video of being burnt. So a month ago, this was standing grass. It since has been burnt, tilled, seeded, and just look at it now. It's been about 2.5 weeks or so since we planted this, maybe 3. This is all Jap millet, a little misleading because there is other grasses and stuff that was in the soil already. So what you see isn't all millet, but it's quite a lot. There's a lot of smartweed coming up naturally that was already in the soil, as well as this undesirable grass, but it's a food plot. I don't need to be perfect. Next year we'll be able to knock it back some more. So this place should be pretty good. This is where the whistlers hang out. I see them in here almost every day.